All right, everybody. I hope all my audio is correct right now. Had some technical difficulties for first thing. Trying to delete. Hey, Ozzy, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Okay. Let's get started. So today, we're going to, for real, begin painting this guy. So we're trying non-metallic gold on the whole thing using the Pro Acryl line of paints. Not sponsored, although that would be cool. We're not going to use all 5, but this is something from that one hobby painter called Flamion, who does like all those super professional looking videos where he blends everything perfectly. That's not me. we're not doing it. He's just he's a YouTuber slash Patreon guy that you pay a lot of money to watch, and he blends everything that looks like photorealistic non-metallic gold. We're not doing that because we're one, we're not professionals, and two, we just don't have that kind of time. So we're going to see if we can learn how to do it, because the paint range is good, because well, we can still use these colors to create a non-metallic gold, although I think that I'm not going to go fully all 5. I'm going to go dark green brown, which is what's already on the model, the dark orange brown, moving to the orange brown, and then bright yellow ochre. And then for the peak highlights, we're going to use the bright pale yellow. And you probably already saw it, but we've got the little grabby tool because we're using some sponge today. Everyone's favorite sponge. Because that's again, it's like a cheating method. You don't actually have to have too much skill, although it really looks like you do. It's kind of a fun trick that you can use to make it look like, oh, look at this. I'm creating this texture on purpose. So get yourself, if you want, one of these little grabby things. This is called a PC, literally called Grabber. It's for like small electronics, and they're a couple bucks online, like $2 literally for a pack of 4, something like that. If you get it from like a local game store or a local hobby shop, online it's probably going to run you $6 for a pack of 4 or 5. If they're metal, it'll be more. You don't need metal. This is like a piece of plastic, nothing. But this gives you that texture that we're looking for. So I'll demonstrate. You've already seen, but for anybody who may be watching this later, who has not seen it, I'll show you. Yeah, Flavion is a cool guy. I've never talked to him, but he's got really cool videos. Good inspiration from him, but he's a professional, like a professional mini painter, not a hobbyist. That's a totally different category. But it's the same thing as like looking up pictures to like, oh, I'll try and paint a scheme like that. All right, so we're gonna get to our secondary tone because we already have the base coat of the dark green brown. I'm gonna take the seal off of this thing. I mentioned it in my last video. I actually really don't like these bottles because one, they're pretty stiff, but also I don't like this type of top where you can't take it all the way off. It's pretty much permanently on, and it makes this little seal on top of the paint, and you can't avoid it. So, not my favorite thing. Tiny nitpick. Who cares? But just a little thing. So acrylic I found actually has a really nice out of the bottle texture. It's like pre-thinned. It's very nice. The one consequence to that is sometimes you don't want it this thick or this thin. Hey Cole, oh man, look at that sweet Prime subscriber badge. Hell yeah. Thank you. I said it last stream, but Cole is our first ever subscriber. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how cool it is that anybody, let alone is willing to follow, but subscribe. I was like, man, I better be good. I better actually have something either cool to say or provide some sort of knowledge. And I hope I do. I hope I do one of the two. But anyway, so here's the sponge. I put the paint on here, and this is what you're gonna see when you. So that's like it. And then as you do more, you get these light little things like this. So you can see how this is what you're looking for when you put it on the model. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. Okay, so let's test this. So this is that slightly lighter tone. And if you remember from the first one, we took a picture of the model with the light coming down, and we're just gonna copy that style. So let's see if we can kind of mimic it. I've got it in front of me. You can't see it, but I've got a picture of where that light was coming from in the first one. Focus up. See if I can do this right. Okay. So on this one, we're doing the initial layer of light. It's not actually like, think of this as you're painting light, not painting the model itself, like not painting the chest piece. You're painting light onto this object and where it would naturally go. That's what you have to be thinking about. Because if you do this while thinking like, oh, I'm painting, I need to be paying attention to where it's going on the model because of this object that it is, you're thinking the wrong way. Think of it as light. Okay, to get on this little cape thing, that's not really that's going to be a different color in the end, so don't worry about getting it on that. Now let's do the leg. Coming down here. And this is your biggest area that you're going to put. Remember, this is the initial secondary tone. So if there's anything that's going to be a lot or seem like there's a lot of it on there, it's going to be this one. It's going to bleed a little bit into the sides. So you're establishing the light. Can you start to see it? What I'm talking about here? It's coming through just a little bit. Still real early, but can you tell what I'm going for? There's the dark area, and we're going to make those dark areas darker later, but we're doing the initial stuff. See? Sponge is cheating. You see anybody like the after pictures only, where they only show like, oh, this is what it looks like at the end, and they don't show you what they did? You see how fast I did that? Sponge. Ridiculous. Everybody needs one of these things. Okay, so it's pretty tough to keep using this with the same color. So really the solution is just tear off another little piece of sponge. Just like this. and discard this initial one. So you're gonna get like a little flat thing. Put it. Oh, here it is. You need one of these. So again, you'll get like a essentially a warehouse pallet of these from any hobby shop. You can go to Michael's or anything like that. I don't know what they're called, but you'll know when you see it. Just go into the craft section. You'll see like paint sponges. They'll be sometimes they're on like dowels, like sticks, and you can just rip them off of that dowel if that's all you can find, instead of like little individual flat pieces like this. But you'll get 1,000 of them for $10. So you'll never run out. I've been using this one for half of a year. It was this big when I first got it. Like, it was as big as maybe my palm, and I haven't run out. So you'll never run out. You'll buy it once, and then you'll lose it, and then you'll have to buy another one. But anyway, here we go. Placing our sponge. Here we go. So we went from the dark green brown to the dark orange brown. Now we're going to orange brown. So this is where you get to go be a little lighter, little light touch. Yeah, exactly. Like it's go to Michael's, go to Michael's, even Target, something like that. Target, Walmart, whatever you got. It's not. It's going to be at all that stuff. Anywhere where they sell even like kids art supplies, you'll find it. Okay. Orange brown. I haven't actually even. I just so you guys see, I've never used these. They're still super full, and this one, the cap is stuck inside there. So I'm gonna have to fish that out with a tweezer. Tweezers. Okay. Nice. Paint covered tweezers. Okay. How to do paint cam. What the people want. Here we go. Okay. Continue. So you can see that this is dry now. And you can see where that light is being subtly foreshadowed. So you can see the separation there. That's why I actually like this color line, is because it's subtle enough where it's going to look really cool when you get those high highlights in, because that subtle transition is good enough to almost be a blend in itself. Again, if you have good tools, you can kind of make it look like you're cheating. Okay, let's get that texture right again. Don't immediately put it on the model because you'll mess up and put too much. You want it to look kind of like this when you're starting. That's good. Okay. Okay, focus up. Focus up more. There we go. Okay. Now this is the higher highlight. So you're going to be a little lighter and a little more inward, like you're painting the area where that's inside that first area. You're still painting the light. So don't be afraid of being a little messy. See that? Come down. Follow where the light would go and see how it's even catching the lip here. That's light would catch the lip. It would reflect more intensely off of a lip of something that was metal like that. Exactly what you want. We go down the leg, catching that lip, catching the top of the ball of the knee, coming down the shin, catching that other lip, and then the boot. Okay. Oop, not a frame. But see, that's way more intense. How about that? You can already see what that's going to end up looking like once we get to those real peak highlights. Keep going. Remember, this is still a second to third layer. And you can go bolder than me. I'm going pretty light touched. I mean, even like this, you could theoretically trick the eye into think, doesn't that look like gold already? Just a little bit? Who would have thought? Brown. Brown and orange turn into gold. Okay. So then next, we're going to really shine it up with the bright yellow ochre. This guy right here. So you can see how this is going to be craziness. This is gonna make it look fantastic. Up. Okay. Replace that sponge. In this particular situation, you do not really want to mix the colors at this time. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. If you want to be like take 4 extra hours to do this and have mixtures of like 1-to-1 of each transitioning, you can. Not necessary. We're going for a quick, not quick, but a quote unquote beginner level technique. The purpose of this is so that anybody who watches will be able to pick up the brush with at least some level of confidence, sponge I should say, and replicate it pretty evenly. We're the Bob Ross of miniature painting, folks. I'm gonna grow my hair out into a fro like him, and oh, here again, evidence. First time using it. Still sealed. Not a hack. I'm really learning with you guys. I just happen to know that this is how you do it, but I've never done it. I'm doing it the first time with you on camera. So you know that you could too. How I like it, how I want it to feel. Okay. Pick that up. And a little. Boop. I really like these colors. They if nothing else, these are fantastic tones. I couldn't tell you what matches this kind of. This almost looks like what would it remind me of? This yellow looks like Easter. It looks like a Cadbury peep or something like that. Maybe it's hard to describe. I'm trying to think of like what it might look like, but I love that shade. If I could have that shade on like a shirt, I would buy it. This is like one of my favorite colors. This particular yellow. It's like oh, you know what? It's like a buttery yellow. That's how I would describe it, like a butter. Okay, let's get some of this on the new sponge. I picked a little smaller piece this time because now I'm going into the more highlighty section. So being a little more careful. Still, don't be too nervous. Get enough off of there. Starts to look like this. I'm gonna keep you honest. keep you happy. There you go. Okay. Zoom in. Look at that. It's dried, but look how good that is already looking. Now let's see what we can do with this highlight. Still painting the light. Go with your gut. Don't be too scared because you can still fix it. Don't feel like you can't fix it. I've only used a couple of colors. Let's start putting in that. Oh yeah. Maybe a little too much over there, but it doesn't matter. Don't be afraid. Look at that. And the stipple makes it look like metal. So you got the triple effect. You got the fake, not fake, the non-metallic effect from the color itself, but also the texture of the sponge gives it a little bit of that pitted look. How about that? Cheating. Never stop cheating. Lie. Never tell it, and don't be like me. Don't tell anybody that this is how you did it. Just be like, yeah, it's, you know, I've been studying for years. I'm the next fucking I'm the next big name in painting. You bought a spot. And you saw how fast that was. I didn't do anything. It's the best thing ever. I think it's fantastic. Okay. Last step. The pale bright yellow. And that's gonna explode your mind with how good it's gonna look. Because it already looks fucking fantastic. You're gonna be light with this last one. This is where you gotta be just a little careful. You can fix it, but I'll be huge. Oh, maybe. I hope so. That'd be cool. Then you'd be I'll make sure to be like, you know, the day ones, Ozzy and Cole. I'll shout them out. I'll shout you out from the hilltop. 100%. If we go big. And when I say big, I mean that Pro Krill sends me a free box of paints that would normally cost, you know, $50, and I'll be like, hey, I made it. All right, last one. Come on. So this yellow is so pale, it's almost a white, but you'll see when I put it on there. It's kind of, I hope the camera's picking it up. So it's almost a white, but you can tell it's got a little cream in there, just a tiny bit. It's not quite white. It's an off-white. You wouldn't have pure white on this situation. Again, it's all in service to make you think that this is a gold, not just a like a yellow metal or something like that. It's a gold. Okay. That's fair enough to see. It's kind of hard because it's white. It's like a whitish. I can see it really well, but okay. Here we go. Oh, nice. That's cool. I wonder what it is. Okay, here we go. Now we're like the very center, the highest point of reflection. So be light. You put a little too much. That's okay. That looks good. Okay. Boom. How do you like those apples? Those peaches and pears. Non-metallic gold. In 28 minutes with me yapping the whole time. What do you think? And then to take this to the next level, you take your brush and you do little dots of the highlights on specifically the ridges of whatever the metallic is hitting. Like the boot especially, and I'll do that next. Now we got to go a little bit further to the back because you want to make that illusion follow the eye. But you can see just how good it is. I mean, unless you want to just take pictures from the very front, but you could definitely get away with that. But non-metallic gold. You don't need to buy this one anymore. The Retributor armor. You just need to buy 5 other paints. It's not less expensive, but people will be much more impressed with the fact that you didn't use metallic paints. There we go. Okay, next steps. Let's do a little of that brushwork. See if we can tighten this up just well. Yeah, tighten it up just a little bit. And the way that we'll do that, planning here, we'll start with the boot, just because that's probably going to be the easiest for me to kind of demonstrate what I mean by ridges. And you can, because you can see the ridges here. You can see clearly that the boot has like layered plates. So each one of those layer edges is a high reflective point on metal. So that's going to carry a lot more ability to reflect than, say, the flat edge. So by pushing it past like where the dark area is, it makes it look more realistic. And I'll show you what I mean. Okay. It's a thin enough brush. Something like this. And you start same way with the first secondary midtone, then up here, then up here. We'll start with the secondary midtone. Okay. See if I can, my eyeballs are good enough to do this. Something like that. You can't see it, but both my hands are resting on the table. I do not have steady hands. I really don't. It's Been tough to learn how to stabilize enough to make something like this possible, but even then, it's still not going to be perfect. Okay, to see how I did that on the edge, it makes it look even more reflective. See? It looks more natural. And you don't do it on the inner area because metal doesn't carry over reflectiveness. You don't want it needs to have sort of that sharp line to make it look like metal. Like there's an area where it's not reflective, no light is coming off of it. That makes it look better, as you can see. Okay, now let's do the next level. And you're going to do it a little higher, meaning more in towards the center of that highlight. Show you what I mean. This is that butter yellow. A little higher, leaving some of that. Not quite all the way to the edge like the first one. There we go. And we'll do the peak. Same pattern. And you'll do this to like all the edges that you would see this reflective on going down. So like at the top of the knee, that kind of thing. And again, this is just you could have left it the way it was. You don't need to do this. That way that you had before was probably enough. Like to be, you probably would be satisfied with how that looked all the way. This is just if you're feeling you got a little more time, you feel a little more ambitious, you want to be fancy. Okay, here's that final color. Just doing enough. Just to the peak. Don't go past that. Remember what I said about metal not reflecting past certain points. Oops, not in the... There we go. Okay. There we go. A little more complete. It carries the illusion a little further to the left. That's how you kind of get away with not doing it all the way to the end. Now you can, and the way that you would do that is you do something like taking the first midtone and just lightly dabbling all across the base area. And I'll do that last just to show you how you carry the illusion further. But establish your initial lines first, establish where you want the light to be coming from and where the character of the model is, where it's, facing in the sunlight, and then we get to do the fancy stuff. Okay. Let's do a little more on the top of the knee there. Carrying all the way to the edge with that first midtone. Edges are special. Edges go all the way to the end. Okay. Then the butter yellow. And if there's any paint that like I would accidentally lick, it would be this. It looks really good. It looks like it should taste good. It probably doesn't. I'm not willing to try. Okay. There's that higher highlight. And then the peak. This one is the off-white, the slightly yellow white, cream. That's it. Don't do any further. Okay. See that edge? Carries all the way to the end now. So it makes it look like the initial effect goes further without actually doing it. So that's how you do that. You do that all on the edges. That's so you can have that trick. Never stop tricking your friends. And never stop lying to your friends. Never stop pretending. That's the number one rule of painting. Okay, let's do some more edges. There's the, see if I can show you. There's the top of the greave here, but actually that's going to be covered by like a plate thing that I haven't glued to this yet, but I'm going to show you anyway. There's the bottom of the chest plate right here, plus some little tangential areas here, like there's like a lifted corner right there, but that's where you're going to do it. Okay. And then also the bottom of the knee guard. Actually, we'll do the bottom of the knee guard because that's kind of finish out the whole leg, and you'll see here when I do it. Okay. So all the way to the edge. Be brave. That secondary midtone there. Yeah, already, even just putting that tricks you. Now it looks like that more of that leg is done. And you just put one line. Okay. Now the butter yellow. Little further in. Go. And the peak. Cream. Done. Okay. So see how that finishes out that leg? We did the boot. Did the secondary lip. Under the knee. Top of the knee. And then we're going to do the chest area last. I think that looks pretty swell, don't you? The sponge didn't quite reach those abs, but I'll do that with like a little stipple motion with the brush. Unless you have it small enough, like I just didn't push hard enough. I probably should have. That's gonna help you avoid some hassle later. But I'll show you what I'm gonna do to help make that look a little more uniform. It looks great, but I think we can make those abs look a little better. Okay, let's do the chest piece. Okay. this rim right here. This little, not sure what this is. This is like a crease. May not actually be visible when I put the arm on, but visible to me. I'm gonna do it. No problem, Ozzy. Thank you for joining. I always appreciate you. And hopefully we see you next time. Top of the head. Bottom of this little head thing. This little collar. Boom. Okay. A little more. Ozzy is a real one. I don't know that you can see him, Cole. He's on YouTube chat. Maybe you can't. I think you might be on both. I remember you were on YouTube chat, or at least on YouTube one of these times. I want to try to also stream on X, but it requires that paid the higher level paid subscription. Just to stream, kind of fucked up, but whatever. The butter. Go. Oh yeah, Twitter. Definitely. I mix them up occasionally. I'm turning into a pod person. I primarily say Twitter, and then I'll say X occasionally, and I'll catch myself and I'll be like, ugh. Yeah, here's that peak highlight again. Just making that a little more pronounced. Boom. Peaks here. I think there it is. Okay. There we go. You could I don't think you should not feel that to push this further. The only things that you can kind of play with here are more, think of edges, rounded tops. So things like the rivets on the top of the knee here, I'm going to dot highlight them with that peak just to make it show you that there's like a glint of something. Need more paint, my paint dried. Just to show you that there's a glint of something, but they don't need like a bunch of layers or anything like that. Dot. Exaggerate the glint. There is an object there, but not the last one. Remember, that one is the hidden one. There we go. Okay. Now, like I said, don't overdo it. Like when you see it reach this level, stop yourself from going. You'll mess it up. You'll add something and you're like, ah, shit, shouldn't have done that. and then you'll have to either start over or do something that you weren't intending to do. Now, last thing I'm going to do before we close it out for the day is I'm going to do the abs here, just because I don't have the correct, size sponge. It's my thing is a little too big. I don't want to create another one. I'm just going to show you how to do it. The same simple thing with the brush. I'm just going to be real careful about it. Just making random little dots I possibly can. And not everywhere. To match the style. There we go. The key with this, especially when working with the brush, to quit while you're ahead. That's enough. Don't do any more. That's it. Okay. Then the butter. A little closer to the center. There we go. A little more. They did a little too much there, but you know what? We're gonna hold our principles and say, that's okay. We're not gonna fix it until I get overwhelmed and fix it by myself later. Okay, see those abs starting to come in. He's been exercising. He's been working them. Okay, now that peak, the least amount here. We're just really kind of getting the corners of the inside. Like that. 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 That's it. 4 dots. That kind of brings it together. And to give you, yes, exactly. And to make this, to finalize and make this really pop, I'm just gonna put a blue layer on this coat, and you're gonna see just how good this effect is. Hang on a second. Let me pick the blue. Let's do a really dark blue, deep ocean blue. You are gonna love this, what this ends up looking like. Because it's gonna really make the contrast go crazy on this thing. Once I throw this blue on here. Okay. Use any old, this is like a big ass dry brush. Don't need to be fancy. Comes that blue. Watch this. I know I'm getting it on the boot down there. It doesn't matter. Boom. How about that? I told y'all. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I need to I need to calm down. I feel I'm getting a little too proud how well this turned out. But I am pretty glad. Because again, I haven't done this before. But I know the technique. Anyway, hope y'all appreciate it. Cole, Ozzy, thank you for being my day ones, especially you, Cole. I appreciate your subscription. I hope that I continue to make this fun for you guys, anybody who's watching, and hope you all like the stream, like what I'm doing. Share it if you want. Doesn't matter to me, but I just hope that you all are having fun. Thanks so much, you guys. Next time, we'll do a little more of this guy. We'll maybe glue some arms on him. How about that? Anyway, here's those paints one more time. So this is what we used. And I'll put them in order. Again, you don't have to have these paints exactly, but if you do go get them, this is what I used. Zoom out. Thanks again, folks. I'll see you all next time.